Welcome back to Music 8, Southeast Asian Music. Now we will discuss Lesson 2, Gamelan Ensemble of Indonesia. For today's agenda, 1. Identify the different instruments in the Gamelan Ensemble of Indonesia. Number 2. Classify the different instruments in the Gamelan Ensemble of Indonesia. Number 3. Analyze musical elements of selected songs and instrumental pieces heard and performed. And number 4, draw the instruments of the gamelan ensemble. The Gamelan Ensemble of Indonesia. Lesson 2. Gamelan is the traditional instrumental ensemble of Indonesia. It has two main styles, the Balinese from Bali, Indonesia, and the Javanese from Java, Indonesia. Gamelan orchestras are used to accompany dances, songs, and even for the wayang kulit. Wayang kulit is a traditional form of puppet shadow play in Indonesia. We will discuss further wayang kulit in our art subject. Javanese gamelan is used as court music for the royals, while Balinese gamelan retained the raw energy and fast rhythmic pacing as music to be performed outdoors for festive occasions. So there is a clear difference between the two gamelan ensemble. Instruments of the gamelan ensemble. Bonang. It is a collection of small gongs, sometimes called kettles or pots, placed horizontally onto strings in a wooden frame or rancak. It usually plays the melody in the gamelan ensemble. So yung bonang may kapares siyang instrumento dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, sa parte ng Mindanao. Ito yung tinatawag natin na kulintang. Gender. It consists of 10 to 14 tuned metal bars suspended over a tuned resonator of bamboo or metal. Because the instrument has a strong sustain, the sound must be dampened with the wrist after striking the next note. Saron normally has 7 bronze bar placed on top of a resonating frame. It has 3 types: the Demong Saron, the largest and lowest; Barung Saron, smaller and an octave higher than Demong; and Peking Saron, small and an octave higher than Barung. Kenong. It has 6 bronze pots suspended on 3 separate stake wood frames. It is usually played with one mallet but can be played with two if the music is very fast. Kempul. It is a set of pitch hanging knob gongs often made of bronze, wood, and cords. Gong Ageng. It is the largest of the bronze gongs in the Javanese and Balinese Gamelan Orchestra. It signals the start and the end of the music. Kendang. It is a double-headed barrel drum in gamelan. It signals the tempo, style, and starting and finishing points to the rest of the orchestra. So yung kendang, yung mga double-headed drum, these are very popular drum in Asia. Cheng Cheng. It is the most important instrument in the set of Balinese gamelan. It is made from copper and jackfruit wood. This copper creates crashing and shimmering sound. Let us now classify the instruments of the gamelan ensemble. So how do we classify the instruments? We classify the instruments according to Hornbostel-Sachs classification of instruments. So what are the classifications under the Hornbostel-Sachs? We have the aerophone. The sound is produced primarily by vibrating air. One good example is Flute. Chordophone. The sound is primarily produced by means of the vibration of a string or strings that are stretched between fixed points. So yung sound is nanggagaling sa vibration ng stretched string. One good example is guitar. Idiophones. Instruments primarily produce their sounds by means of the actual body of the instruments vibrating. Another good example is maracas. And the last classification would be membranophones. The instruments primarily produce their sounds by means of the vibration of a tightly stretched membrane. So ang pinakamagandang example is drums. So paano ngayon natin i-classify ang instruments natin sa Gamelan Ensemble? For task number 1, let us classify the instruments of the Gamelan Ensemble. So, paano natin gagawin yun? You can use the video link found below and listen to the different instruments of the gamelan, or by just mere looking at the picture and analyzing it, or knowing the description of the instrument, you can already classify the instruments of the gamelan. Number 1, bonang. Number 2, gender. Number 3, saron. Number 4, kenong. Number 5, kempul. Number 6, gong ageng. Number 7, kendang. And number 8, cheng cheng. So for your first task, you're going to classify the instruments of the gamelan. You will just write your answers in your notebook. So let us now listen to the example music of the Gamelan Ensemble. For our first listening activity, we will listen to Singa Nebah, the Pouncing Lion of the Javanese Gamelan. You can use the YouTube link found below or just simply type Singa Nebah, the Pouncing Lion in the search bar on YouTube. For the second listening activity, it would be Sound Tracker Gamelan for the Balinese Gamelan. Again, you can just click on the YouTube link found below or just type Sound Tracker in the search bar on YouTube. After listening to those music, the music of the Javanese Gamelan and the music of Balinese Gamelan, for task number 2, you will answer the guide questions. Number 1. What are the musical elements present in both videos? Number 2. Which of the videos do you like most and why? And number 3. How do you feel when you watch the video? For our activity, we need pencil, coloring materials, and bond paper. You're going to choose one instrument from the gamelan and draw and color it. We are now at the end of our slide, so I hope you learned something about the gamelan ensemble. Don't forget to answer Task 1, Task 2, and Task 3. Thank you and have a great day. I hope to see you again in our next class.